Good morning, YouTube. You can definitely tell fall is here. It is a little brisk this morning, and unfortunately I'm not able to take my walk this morning because I do have to get to work soon. So I'm taking it indoors this time for this video. So today the topic I wanted to talk about, probably I want to talk about two topics. So the first one is I want to talk a little bit about how important it is to really focus on yourself. Jordan Peterson makes this argument, and he really explains it well in his book and in a lot of his videos. How before you can focus on things outside of yourself, you need to focus on yourself, and that is, you need to get your house in order, clean your room, make yourself a better person, and not worry so much about things that are happening outside of, your sphere of influence. So that is important because you really can't affect change, in any positive way unless you change yourself in a positive way first. So I think that's important, and it's been very beneficial for me here recently, especially this year. I feel like I have learned a lot from that, and that has been very useful to me to grow and help me on my journey of learning. So that was the first thing I wanted to talk about. Just kind of a reminder to how important it is to just focus on yourself. Stay focused. Make yourself better. The second thing I wanted to talk about is kind of going back to the theory of evolution that I've made a couple of videos about. I just wanted to point out some facts, some interesting facts that also help to tie in. Yesterday my last video was about how everything is all connected. Well, interestingly enough, it turns out that Charles Darwin's grandfather, I think his name was Erasmus Darwin, he was a Freemason, a high-level Freemason. That's interesting. And he actually started, tinkering with this theory of evolution, kind of putting it together. And his grandson, Charles Darwin, kind of picked up where he left off and turned it into the theory of evolution, basically. He turned it into, he wrote his book, his famous book on... I forgot what it was called, but anyways, his book where he basically lays out his all his his information and his data, and how evolution is like a legit thing. It's just interesting that his grandfather was a Freemason, and there's speculation that Charles Darwin was also a Freemason, although he was not listed on books. He was like an unofficial Freemason. You just have to wonder what's going on there, like why is the theory of evolution being pushed down our throats so much now within the scientific community? And I'll link this video that I watched about this yesterday in the description. But Charles Darwin and his grandfather were also members of the Royal Scientific Society. I forgot. I think that's what it's called. And there's some shenanigans going on there too. Who else were Freemasons, you might ask? George Washington was a Freemason. Benjamin Franklin was a Freemason. I mean, come on. These are questions that should be looked into, definitely. And when you're trying to make sense of the world and make sense of the way that people, voices of authority, are trying to tell you this is how the world is, you just have to question it. I mean, especially if all these people that are, the people that are telling you this is the way the world is, they're all in secret societies. Well, you just have to question what their motive is. So that's where I stand on that. So I guess another thing that I want to talk about also, or another point I want to add or mention, so I guess this is three things I'm talking about in this video, is the transfer of technology, or, that is basically the motivation behind all the secrecy, is the transfer of technology. Someone has technology that somebody wants, and they're going to make a trade. And sometimes those trades are secret. They're not on the books, and they can encompass some pretty shady and disturbing things. So I think in the last video I was talking about like Vril Society was channeling aliens from Aldebaran because they were getting, this was a transfer of technology. They were getting information from these other beings on how to create anti-gravity spacecraft. And then this information was given to the Nazis, where they did successfully create these anti-gravity craft. And I mean, there's a lot of evidence to support that, and there's videos that I've linked in my other video that kind of explains how that happened. But again, it all goes back to the transfer of technology, and these are secret societies that are getting this information that's not shared with the rest of the world. I mean, as far as the rest of the world knows, there's no such thing as anti-gravity anything. This is like not something that exists right now. It does exist. We just don't know that it does. Or it's not on the books. It's off the books. And any speculation, or anybody, whistleblowers that come out and say, yeah, these things exist, they're looked at as crazy. So, again, this is just another example of how it all ties in together. So that's my video for today, and I hope that made sense. Keeping it short today because I do have to run and get off to work. But I'll keep posting, and I want to thank all my subscribers for watching and listening and hanging in there with me. And let's learn together. Let's grow. Thanks for watching.